It is finally Friday. It has been a busy week leading into a action-packed weekend. So for those of you that have been following me for a while, you'll know that I'm also a co-host on the Unmaskables podcast, which we stream live on Twitch with the VOD available on YouTube and the audio available on Spotify shortly after. The Unmaskables is a comic book club. So we get together twice a month and we go over about a 6 to 7 issue run from a certain comic that we liked in history and time. Sometimes we go into something new, which is what we did last night with Batman, Court of Owls, which is a New 52 run that none of us had actually read before. So if you guys are interested in checking out the Unmaskables, link to the video will be in the description below. Now, before we get into the Snyder Cut and Falcon and the Winter Soldier this weekend, we're going to dive back into Star Wars with Vader issue number 5. We left off last issue with Vader successfully having secured his droid army with the assistance of Dr. Aphra and the droid duo 000 and BT-1. Their mission to Geonosis was a success. They defeated Queen Karina and stole her droid factory from her. Afterwards, Black Chrysanthemum was in contact with his bounty, a researcher named Cylo IV. 000 is able to torture the location of Cylo IV's research base out of him before subsequently killing him. Not only do we learn the location of his base, but also the nature of his research. Palpatine's replacements for Vader. This issue picks up right where we left off with Vader and the gang arriving at the research base. Cylo's base was reported to be organic, and it certainly is. It's built on top of space whales, which are literally exactly what they sound like. They are giant whales in space. Without skipping a beat, the crew begins boarding the space whale. The guards aboard the base detect an unauthorized docking procedure, and what ensues is a major callback to both A New Hope and The Phantom Menace. The station's guards line up on the other side of the door, ready to blast whoever comes through. Very reminiscent of the rebels at the beginning of A New Hope preparing to destroy the stormtroopers. Similarly to episode 1, someone is cutting through the door, and upon breaking through, we're met with 000, barely visible through the dust, yelling, "Don't shoot, please don't shoot." Amazing callbacks. The guards order 000 to identify himself. He complies, and after being reminded of the word by BT-1, 000 has a tendency to jumble languages, states that he is a distraction. At this moment, Vader arrives, cutting a hole through the hull, causing the entire legion of guards to be sucked into vacuum. Vader and the droids are fine because they were magnetized. Aphra, who is still aboard the ship, reseals the vent. 000, ever the comic relief, asks Vader if he performed well. Vader ignores this and tells him to open the door. 000 complains to BT-1, saying he has had more grateful masters. BT-1 responds with a question, to which 000 replies, "No, it didn't stop me from killing them and draining them of their blood." I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. Politeness costs nothing. Once the door is open, Vader and his army of droids proceed through the facility. Aphra's providing overwatch. She relays information to Vader, including the facility's layout, and highlights 2 rooms with potential resistance, the barracks and the dojo. Vader sends his second platoon to the dojo and takes the first platoon with him to the barracks, ordering them to clear all resistance. 000 and BT-1 seize this opportunity to return to the ship. Vader and Platoon 1 handily wipe out all the resistance at the barracks. Meanwhile, Platoon 2 reports back 2 humans unarmed, and we see the panel with the 2 humans, who do appear to be unarmed. However, Aphra states she has lost contact with the second platoon, so Vader and Platoon 1 head towards the dojo. Interesting sight awaits Vader, because we can now infer that these are probably the replacements being referred to by Cylo. The 2 humans await them, lightsabers in hand. Morit, the male, brandishes a yellow saber, while Aolen, the female, wields a green lightsaber. Morit disables all the droids at once, seemingly with the Force. Vader, however, notes that it was not the Force, that it was some sort of trickery, further noting that the Force is weak with both of them. Morit exclaims that the Jedi and Sith are history. However, Aolen begins to tell Vader that she actually admires him, before being told to halt by none other than Cylo, back from the dead. This, however, is Cylo V. He reveals that when his prior body didn't return, his new body was activated. He explains the science to this, but essentially, whenever a previous body dies, his personality and memory are uploaded into the next iteration. Vader states that he understands Cylo is creating apprentices here, which Cylo refutes. Not apprentices, replacements. He goes on to state that the Force is obsolete and presents its would-be successors. Aolin and Morit are identified as twins, and they are joined by an entourage of others. Another human, a Trandoshan, and a Mon Calamari. Vader's reaction to all this echoes the reader's thoughts as well. This is blasphemous. Continuing his parade of heresy, Cylo states this has nothing to do with the Force, and Vader is a bridge between two worlds. As when Cylo looks at him, he is more machine than man. In many ways, these are his children. Vader has certainly had his fill at this point, states enough, and goes to strike Cylo down. He is, however, stopped by the timely arrival of Palpatine, who tells him to stand down. The Emperor then apologizes on Vader's behalf, stating he is sensitive on the topic of children. Multiple levels of irony in that statement, as it's being used as a nod to Order 66, to his wife dying when pregnant, to his current investigation into the boy from the Death Star. Cylo, now addressing both Vader and the Emperor, states that he is here to prove that the Emperor only needs an apprentice in a ceremonial role. His strong right hand needs to be the firmest grip, and Cylo is here to show that his creations have a stronger grip than Vader's. Does this guy know who he's talking to? Palpatine tells Cylo to stop grandstanding and that he has his attention. The issue closes with the 5 abominations preparing to face Vader in a demonstration. So what are my thoughts? Weird issue here. So what I loved, the callbacks to the previous movies, like we have the entire scene that's basically taken right out of episode 1 and 4. We have the entire references to Order 66 and Vader being sensitive about children, which is insane. Really, throughout this entire series, the callback to both the prequel and the sequel and trying to bridge that gap has been a consistent theme, and it's working really well. We are on top of a space whale. We found a freak show of non-Force using abominations that all have weird alien cyborg implants to enhance them, and they're here to replace Vader. So it's funny because I doubt they actually knew it at the time of writing this issue, but this whole arc kind of cements what ended up becoming episode 9's story. I'm with Vader on this one though. This is blasphemy. Another thing that I didn't really think of at the time, this whole thing was basically orchestrated by Palpatine. Palpatine let Vader see him with Cylo in issue 1. He knew that this would either play out as Vader locating the base or Vader sucking and he gets replaced anyway. So it's kind of like a win-win situation for Palpatine. What did you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and have a great weekend.